The notification appeared on my laptop while I was finishing a quarterly report for the firm. Your wife tagged you in a photo. I almost ignored it. Ashley rarely used social media, and when she did, it was usually some throwback picture from our vacation in Sedona or a recipe she wanted to try. But something made me click. The photo was gone, deleted. But the notification remained, mocking me from the corner of my screen. I refreshed the page. Nothing. Checked her profile. The last post was from 3 weeks ago. A sunset photo with some quote about gratitude. I sat back in my chair, the blue light from the screen washing over my face in the darkness of my home office. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe the notification was a glitch. Except my phone buzzed. A text from my younger brother, Tyler. Dude, did Ashley mean to tag you in that? My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. She deleted it. Probably nothing. Call you tomorrow. I called him immediately. He answered on the first ring, his voice tight and uncomfortable. Tyler, what did you see? Look, man, it's late. She probably just... What? Did? You? See? A long pause. I could hear his girlfriend asking him something in the background, her voice muffled. It was her and some guy, at a restaurant. They were... close. Really close. She tagged you and him in it, but then it was gone like 30 seconds later. What guy? I don't know. I didn't recognize him. Dark hair, maybe 40. They were at that Italian place downtown. Marcello's, I think. Marcello's. The restaurant where we had our first anniversary dinner, where I proposed to her 3 years before that. Send me a screenshot if you took one. I didn't. Tyler. I'm sorry, man. I didn't think to grab it. It happened so fast. I thanked him and hung up. The house was silent except for the hum of my computer and the distant sound of our golden retriever Copper snoring in his bed downstairs. Ashley was asleep in our bedroom, 20 feet away down the hall. We'd been married for 8 years, together for 12. High school sweethearts who beat the odds, or so everyone said. She was a paralegal at a mid-sized law firm downtown. I was a senior financial analyst at an investment company. We had a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs, a dog, and a 5-year plan that included kids. I pulled up her social media again, scrolled through her friends list. 237 people. I recognized maybe half of them. Family, college friends, co-workers. My hands were shaking. I opened a private browser window and logged into our phone account. We'd been on a shared plan since we got engaged. I'd never looked at her records before. Never had a reason to. The call logs loaded. I sorted by frequency. There was my number at the top. Her mom, her sister Katie, her best friend from college, Jennifer, then a number I didn't recognize. No name attached, just digits. I counted the calls. 47 in the last month. Some lasting 3 minutes. Some lasting 45. Most of them during her lunch hour or on her commute home. The most recent call was yesterday at 6:15 p.m. It lasted 32 minutes. She'd gotten home at 7:30, apologizing for the traffic, kissing me on the cheek while I stirred pasta sauce at the stove. I pulled up the text records. Our plan didn't show the content of messages, just the metadata. The same unknown number. Hundreds of texts, back and forth, going back 4 months. 4 months. I sat there in the darkness, the glow of the screen making my eyes water, and tried to remember the last 4 months. Had she been different? Distant? Had I missed something obvious? She'd been going to the gym more. Started caring about her appearance again after a few years of comfortable marriage routines. I'd thought it was great, encouraging even. She'd seemed happier, more energetic. God, I was an idiot. I heard movement in the hallway. Soft footsteps on carpet. I closed the browser windows and pulled up my work report just as Ashley appeared in the doorway, wearing one of my old college t-shirts and rubbing her eyes. "Babe, it's almost 3. Come to bed." She looked beautiful, hair messy from sleep, face soft and unguarded, the same face I'd been waking up next to for 8 years. "Yeah," I said. My voice sounded normal, steady. "Just finishing this report. 5 more minutes." She patted over and kissed the top of my head. I could smell her shampoo, vanilla, and something floral. "Don't stay up too late. You need sleep." "I won't." She squeezed my shoulder and left, her footsteps fading back down the hall. I heard our bedroom door click shut. I sat there for a long moment, staring at nothing. Then I opened my browser again and did something I never thought I'd do. I Googled how to recover deleted social media photos. Turns out the internet never really forgets anything. 20 minutes later, I was looking at my wife kissing another man in a booth at Marcello's. His hand was on her face. Her eyes were closed. The photo was taken from across the table, a selfie angle, but extended, like someone else had taken it for them. They looked happy. The caption read, "Finally found my soulmate. Thank you for showing me what love really means." Tagging the 2 most important men in my life, past and future. She'd tagged me and someone named Blake Patterson. I saved the photo to an encrypted folder on my hard drive. Then I started planning. The dog's toenails click against the hardwood floor. I close the browser window and pull up my quarterly report again, positioning the laptop so the screen faces away from the bedroom door. Ashley appears in the doorway, squinting against the light from my desk lamp. "You're still up?" "Almost done." My voice sounds normal. I've had years of conference calls with difficult clients. I know how to control my tone. She pads across the room and kisses the top of my head. Her hair smells like vanilla shampoo. "Don't stay up too late." "I won't." 20 feet. That's all the distance between my office and our bedroom. 20 feet, and she has no idea that I know. I wait until I hear the bed creak, then count to 300. 5 full minutes. When I open the browser again, Blake Patterson's profile is still there, frozen in that moment with my wife. I start taking screenshots. Everything. The photo. His profile. The visible friend list. I create a new folder buried 3 levels deep in my work files, label it Q3 Revenue Backup, and dump everything inside. Then I go back to the phone records. The calls started 4 months ago. The first one lasted 3 minutes, then nothing for a week. Then another call, this time 7 minutes. The pattern builds slowly at first. A call here, a few texts there. By month 2, they're talking every day. By month 3, multiple times per day. I cross-reference the timestamps with my calendar. The 11-minute call on September 14th? I was in Cleveland for a client presentation. The 47-minute call on September 28th? I was at my company's annual dinner. Ashley said she had a headache and stayed home. The 90-minute call on October 3rd? That was our anniversary. I'd made reservations at Marcello's, the same restaurant where they took that photo, but Ashley said she was coming down with something. We ordered takeout instead and watched a movie. She spent half of it on her phone. I thought she was texting her sister. I was an idiot. My phone buzzes. A text from Tyler. "You okay?" "Yeah. Thanks for telling me." "What are you going to do?" "Good question. I could wake her up right now." Show her the photo, the call logs, demand an explanation. Watch her scramble for excuses or maybe just admit it. But I don't know enough yet. Blake Patterson's profile is sparse. Works at Patterson and Associates. No employer details beyond that. Lives in the downtown area. Went to State University. 37 mutual friends with Ashley. 37. I start going through them one by one. Most are people I recognize from Ashley's work, other paralegals, attorneys from her firm, people she went to law school with before she dropped out. A few faces from college, her yoga instructor, her book club friends. I stop on one name, Jennifer Walsh. Jennifer was Ashley's college roommate. They stayed close after graduation, met for lunch once a month, went on a weekend trip to wine country last year. Ashley talks about her constantly. Jennifer's profile is more open than Blake's. I scroll through her recent photos and find what I'm looking for in about 30 seconds. A group photo from 3 months ago. 8 people at a backyard barbecue. Ashley's in the center, holding a beer and laughing. Blake Patterson stands directly behind her, his hand resting on her shoulder. The caption? Summer vibes with my favorite people. 43 likes. Ashley liked it. So did Blake. I screenshot it and keep scrolling. There are more. A photo from a downtown bar, Ashley and Blake, in the background of a shot that's supposedly about Jennifer's new haircut. A group dinner where they're sitting next to each other. A hiking trip where Blake and Ashley are paired up on the trail, both wearing matching State University gear. Jennifer Walsh is the connection. She introduced them. I pull up Ashley's text history with Jennifer. The phone company doesn't save the actual messages, just the metadata, timestamps, frequency, volume. They text constantly, multiple times per day, every day. But in the past 4 months, the frequency has actually decreased. That makes sense. If Jennifer knows about Blake, Ashley wouldn't need to text her as much. She'd be texting him instead. I check the call logs again. Ashley called Jennifer the night before the photo was posted. They talked for 18 minutes. Then, 6 hours later, Ashley called Blake. They talked for 97 minutes. Then the photo appeared and disappeared in the span of 3 minutes. I lean back in my chair and stare at the ceiling. Ashley got drunk. She posted the photo, probably meant to share it privately or on a different platform, something I wouldn't see. Jennifer called to warn her. Ashley panicked and deleted it. But not before Tyler saw it. Not before it was too late. My laptop clock reads 4:23 a.m. In 3 hours, Ashley's alarm will go off. She'll shower, get dressed, kiss me goodbye, and drive downtown to work. Or maybe she won't go to work. Maybe she'll text Blake, tell him about the photo mishap, and they'll spend the day figuring out damage control. I need more information. I open a private browser window and search for Patterson and Associates. The firm's website is sleek and professional. Patterson and Associates, LLC, Business Consulting and Strategic Planning. 3 partners listed: Blake Patterson, David Foster, and Ellen Crane. Blake's bio photo matches his profile picture. Harvard MBA. 15 years of experience in corporate restructuring and financial consulting. Specializes in helping mid-sized companies optimize their operations. The office address is downtown, 4 blocks from Ashley's law firm. 4 blocks. I search for the firm's client list, but that's not public. I try LinkedIn instead. Blake Patterson's profile is more detailed here. Previous positions at 2 major consulting firms. Recommendations from a dozen people, all glowing. Skills endorsed by 63 connections. One of those connections is Ashley. She endorsed him for strategic planning and financial analysis 3 months ago. I screenshot that too. The sky outside my office window is starting to lighten. Gray pre-dawn. Not quite morning, but no longer night. I should sleep. I have a meeting at 9 with a client who's threatening to pull their account if we don't reduce our fees. But I keep digging. Ashley's social media is minimal. She barely posts, rarely comments. But her tagged photos tell a different story. I go back 2 years, then 3, then 4. Looking for any sign that I missed something earlier, that this has been going on longer than 4 months. Nothing. Blake Patterson doesn't appear anywhere before July. Before that, Ashley's photos are exactly what I'd expect. Pictures with me, with her family, with her girlfriends. Normal life. Our life. So 4 months ago, something changed. I pull up my own calendar and scroll back to July. What was happening then? July 12th. My promotion to senior analyst was announced. July 15th. We had dinner with my parents to celebrate. July 18th. Ashley mentioned feeling stuck in her paralegal position, said she was thinking about going back to school. July 22nd. First call to Blake Patterson's number. I sit very still. Ashley was unhappy with her career. Jennifer introduced her to Blake, probably as a networking contact. He's a consultant, an MBA from Harvard. Maybe Ashley thought he could give her advice about business school or career transitions. Except that's not what happened. I look at the photo again, the way she's looking at him. The caption, "Finally found my soulmate." That's not networking. My phone buzzes. Another text from Tyler. "Seriously, man, are you okay? Call me if you need to talk." Asterisk, I don't respond. Instead, I open a new document and start writing down everything I know. Timeline, facts, names, screenshots filed away in my hidden folder. Call logs. Social media connections. The pattern of lies that stretches back 4 months. When Ashley's alarm goes off at 7:30, I'm still at my desk. The document is 3 pages long. I've organized it chronologically, cross-referenced every piece of evidence, noted every discrepancy. I save it in the same hidden folder as the screenshots. Then I close my laptop, stand up, and walk to the bedroom. Ashley's sitting on the edge of the bed, rubbing her eyes. She looks up when I enter and smiles. "Did you ever come to bed?" "No, got caught up in work." "You look exhausted." "I am." That part's true. She stands and wraps her arms around me. I can feel her heartbeat against my chest. Steady. Calm. Completely unaware. "Take a nap before your meeting," she says. "I'll make coffee before I leave." "Thanks." She kisses me and heads to the bathroom. I hear the shower start. I sit on the bed and stare at my phone. Blake Patterson's number is in my call log now, copied from the records. I could call him right now. Ask him who he is and what he wants with my wife. But I don't. Because I'm not ready yet. I need to know everything first. The funeral was 3 days ago. My father-in-law, Richard Brennan, had died of a heart attack at 62. Too young. Too sudden. Ashley cried through the entire service. I held her hand, passed her tissues, played the supportive husband. Because that's what I am, apparently. The man who holds her while she grieves, even though she's planning to leave me for someone else. The caption still burns in my mind. Past and future. But I'm patient. I'm methodical. And right now I'm useful, helping sort through her father's belongings while she's too devastated to do it herself. There's a storage unit, her mother Linda tells me on Tuesday afternoon. We're sitting in the Brennan family kitchen, surrounded by casserole dishes from neighbors. At the train station, Richard rented it years ago for business files. I don't even know what's in there anymore. She slides a key across the table. Unit 147. "I'll take care of it," I say. Ashley looks up from her coffee, eyes red and swollen. "You don't have to. I want to help." I reach over and squeeze her hand. She squeezes back. God, she's good at this. The storage facility is one of those depressing concrete buildings near the Amtrak station, all fluorescent lights and numbered doors. I find Unit 147 on the second floor, at the end of a long hallway that smells like mildew and cardboard. The key turns smoothly. The door rolls up with a metallic screech. Inside, boxes. Dozens of them, stacked floor to ceiling. Most are labeled in Richard's neat handwriting. Tax returns. 1998 to 2003. Property records. Insurance documents. I'm not looking for anything specific. Just doing my duty as the good son-in-law, cataloging what's here so Linda can decide what to keep. But then I see a box in the back corner, unlabeled. Different from the others, older, the cardboard soft with age. I pull it out. It's heavy. Inside are videotapes. VHS, the old kind. Maybe 20 of them, each in a clear plastic case with a date written on the spine in black marker. The dates go back 23 years. I pick up the first one. March 15th, 23 years ago. Ashley would have been, 19? 20? There's a portable TV with a built-in VCR player in the corner of the unit, covered in dust. Richard must have used it to review the tapes. I plug it in. The screen flickers to life with a burst of static. I slide in the tape. The video quality is terrible, grainy, washed out. The camera is stationary, positioned high in a corner. Security footage, maybe. Or just a fixed recording setup. The setting is an office, cheap furniture, wood paneling on the walls, a desk with papers spread across it. And then Ashley walks into frame. But not my Ashley. This is a younger version, longer hair, different style. She's wearing a business suit that looks too mature for her age, carrying a briefcase. She's not alone. Two men follow her in. One is older, maybe 60, gray hair and expensive watch. The other is younger, 30-something, nervous energy. They sit. Ashley opens the briefcase. She pulls out a manila envelope and slides it across the desk to the older man. He opens it, counts what's inside. Cash. Thick stacks of it. Then he slides her a different envelope. She opens it, examines the contents, documents of some kind, and nods. No one speaks. The whole exchange takes maybe 90 seconds. Then they stand, shake hands, and leave the frame. The tape continues for another few minutes of empty office before cutting to static. I sit there, staring at the snow on the screen. What the hell was that? I eject the tape and grab another one. 6 months later. Same setup. Different office, but similar arrangement. Ashley enters with a different man this time. Younger, athletic build. They exchange a briefcase for a folder. She opens the folder, photographs something with a small camera, then returns it. Again, no conversation, just business. I watch 3 more tapes. Each one is the same pattern. Ashley meeting with different people, exchanging money or documents or both. Sometimes she's handing things over. Sometimes she's receiving them. Always professional. Always silent. The dates span about 4 years, ending roughly 19 years ago. 2 years before I met her. My hands are shaking as I pull out my phone and start recording the TV screen. I play the first tape again, capturing the entire exchange, then the second, then the third. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know it matters. Ashley never mentioned this. In 12 years together, she never once said anything about working for her father in some kind of, courier service? Money laundering operation? Richard Brennan owned a small accounting firm. Boring, legitimate, respectable. He did taxes for local businesses and retirees. But these tapes tell a different story. I keep watching. Tape after tape. The meetings are always brief, always professional. Ashley never looks uncomfortable or coerced. She's efficient, focused. She knows exactly what she's doing. In one tape, she's wearing a wire. I can see the bulge under her blouse. In another, she photographs documents with what looks like a professional setup, pages held flat under a portable light. This wasn't amateur hour. This was organized. I find a tape dated 20 years ago, the last one in the box. This one is different. The setting is outdoors, a parking garage. The camera angle is from inside a vehicle, looking out through the windshield. Ashley is visible in the distance, standing next to a black sedan. A man approaches her. Even through the grainy footage, I can see he's different from the others. Harder edges, more aggressive posture. They argue. I can't hear the words, but the body language is clear. He grabs her arm. She pulls away. Then Richard enters the frame. He moves fast for a man in his 40s, getting between Ashley and the other man. There's a confrontation, pointing fingers, raised voices I can't hear. The other man backs off, gets in his car and drives away. Richard puts his arm around Ashley and walks her back toward the camera. As they get closer, I can see her face. She's crying. The tape ends. I sit in the storage unit for another hour, going through the rest of the boxes, looking for context, for explanation. I find it in a file box labeled Personal. Inside are documents, contracts, NDAs, payment records, and a letter, handwritten, from Richard to Ashley. The date is 19 years ago, right after the last tape. Ashley, I know you're angry with me for pulling you out, but after what happened with Dalton, I couldn't risk it anymore. You were supposed to be safe, just documents, just money. No direct contact with the dangerous ones. That was our deal. That was always our deal. I kept my promise to your mother. I kept you out of the worst of it. But I can't keep you safe if you won't follow the rules. You're done. The account is closed. The contacts are burned. As far as anyone knows, you never existed. Take the money, go to school, build a real life. Forget this ever happened. Dad, there's more. Bank statements showing deposits into an account in Ashley's name. Over 4 years, she'd accumulated nearly $200,000. Money she never mentioned. Money that's not in any of our joint accounts. I photograph everything. The letter, the statements, the contracts with names redacted but signatures visible. Then I pack it all back up exactly as I found it. It's dark when I leave the storage facility. I sit in my car in the parking lot, engine running, trying to process what I just discovered. Ashley had a whole life before me. A secret life, working for her father in some kind of… what? Intelligence operation? Corporate espionage? I don't even know what to call it. And she never said a word. The affair with Blake suddenly feels different. Not smaller, still a betrayal, still a knife in my back. But it's part of a pattern now. Ashley keeps secrets. Big ones. She's been doing it her whole adult life. I pull out my phone and look at the videos I recorded. In one of them, young Ashley is handing over an envelope to a man I now recognize. I saw his photo on LinkedIn last week while researching Blake's business connections. His name is David Patterson, Blake's father. I drive home in silence. Ashley's car is in the driveway. Inside, I can hear her talking to her mother on the phone, her voice thick with grief. I close the door quietly and head to my office. I have work to do. Because now I don't just have evidence of an affair. I have evidence of something much bigger. Something that connects Ashley's past to her present. Something that might explain why Blake Patterson, of all people, came into her life. Finally found my soulmate. Maybe it wasn't about love at all. Maybe it was about unfinished business. The name David Patterson stares back at me from the screen. Blake's father. LinkedIn says he's retired now, living in Scottsdale. Before that, 30 years at Meridian Global Consulting. Same firm where Blake works now. I close the laptop and look at the box of tapes sitting on my desk. It's 11:47 p.m. Ashley's asleep down the hall. She came home at 6, kissed my cheek, asked about my day. Normal, easy, like she's done this 1,000 times. Maybe she has. I pull up the bank statements again. Richard's records show regular deposits into an account under Ashley's maiden name, Brennan. The account was closed 20 years ago, final balance transferred out in a single withdrawal. $203,000. I've been through our tax returns going back to when we got married. Nothing. No mysterious accounts, no unexplained assets. She didn't bring that money into our marriage, or if she did, she hid it somewhere I haven't found yet. My phone buzzes. Tyler, you okay? Fine. That's not an answer. I don't respond. Instead, I open a new browser window and search for Dalton Meridian Global Consulting. Nothing useful. I tried Dalton 2002 and get thousands of results. I add Richard Brennan, and the results drop to 0. I'm looking at this wrong. Richard's letter said he pulled her out after Dalton. Not because of Dalton, after. Like Dalton was the last straw, not the cause. I go back to the tapes. There are 23 of them, labeled with dates and locations. I've only watched 5. The earliest is dated March 15th, 23 years ago. The latest is June 8th, 19 years ago. 4 years of whatever this was. I pick up tape number 6. The label says Chicago, November 12th. 22 years ago, Ashley would have been 20. The VCR is still set up from earlier. I slide the tape in and press play. The video quality is the same, grainy, handheld. This time it's a parking garage. Ashley walks into frame wearing a black coat, her hair shorter than I've ever seen it. She looks impossibly young. A car pulls up. Mercedes, dark blue. The driver stays inside, but the passenger door opens. Ashley gets in. The camera zooms slightly. I can see movement inside the car, but not details. They're talking. Ashley nods. Writes something down. The driver hands her something. Looks like a folder. Then she gets out. The car drives away. Ashley walks back toward the camera, and for just a moment she looks directly at the lens. She nods once. The tape cuts to black. I rewind it and watch again. That nod. She knew someone was filming. This wasn't surveillance of her. This was documentation. Evidence. Insurance. Richard was protecting her. Or protecting himself. Or both. I watched 3 more tapes. They're all similar. Meetings in parking garages, hotel lobbies, train stations. Ashley receives things. Folders, envelopes, once a small package wrapped in brown paper. She never seems nervous. In one tape, she's actually smiling. The last tape I watch is dated April 2nd, 20 years ago. 2 months before Richard pulled her out. This one's different. It's inside somewhere, looks like an office. Ashley's sitting across a desk from someone. I can only see the back of his head. Salt and pepper hair, expensive suit. They're arguing. I can't hear what they're saying, but Ashley's face is flushed, her hands moving emphatically. The man stands up and the camera jerks, like whoever's holding it is startled. Then Ashley stands too. She says something. One word, sharp and final. She turns and walks out of frame. The man turns toward the camera. It's David Patterson. Younger, but unmistakably him. Same sharp features, same cold expression I saw in the LinkedIn photo. The tape ends. I sit back in my chair. My hands are shaking. Blake's father. 20 years ago, Ashley was doing business with Blake's father. And now Blake's sleeping with my wife. This isn't an affair. This is something else entirely. I check the time. 1:23 a.m. I should sleep, but I know I won't. Instead, I open a new document and start making a timeline. 23 years ago, Ashley starts working for Richard. She's 19, just started college. 20 years ago, April, Ashley meets with David Patterson. They argue. Something goes wrong. 20 years ago, June, Richard pulls Ashley out. The operation ends. The account closes. 12 years ago, I meet Ashley at a friend's barbecue. She's 27, working as a paralegal. She never mentions any of this. 4 months ago, Blake Patterson contacts Ashley, or she contacts him. Either way, They start talking. Now, Richard dies. Blake and Ashley are having an affair, and I'm sitting in my office watching videotapes of my wife's secret life. The pattern is obvious. Blake didn't just happen to meet Ashley through Jennifer. He found her, sought her out. But why? What does he want? I pull up Blake's LinkedIn again. His career trajectory is impressive. Harvard MBA, fast track at Meridian Global, made partner at 35. His profile says he specializes in strategic consulting and risk management. Risk management. I click through to Meridian Global's website. It's slick, corporate, deliberately vague about what they actually do. Strategic solutions for complex challenges. Discretionary services for select clients. Global reach, local expertise. I've seen enough corporate doublespeak to know what this is. They're fixers. They solve problems that can't be solved through normal channels. And 20 years ago, 19-year-old Ashley was working for them. Or with them. Or against them. I need to know which. I pull out my phone and scroll through Ashley's recent texts with Blake. Most of them are deleted, but I managed to recover fragments from the cloud backup before she cleared it. Can't keep doing this. You promised. Not about the money. Money. There it is again. I go back to Richard's bank records. The deposits into Ashley's account came from shell companies, different ones each time. But they all trace back to the same source if you dig deep enough. Meridian Global Consulting. They were paying her. For 4 years, they paid her almost $250,000. And now Blake's back in her life, right after his father appears in these tapes. My phone buzzes again. Tyler. Seriously, call me. I ignore it. I'm too close to something. I watch the tape with David Patterson again. This time I focus on the background. The office has a window and through it I can see buildings. Distinctive architecture, I recognize it. That's downtown Boston. Meridian Global's headquarters is in Boston, so Ashley was meeting with David Patterson in his own office. Not some clandestine location. She had access. She was inside. I pause the tape at the moment she stands up. Her body language is defiant, angry. Whatever David said to her, she rejected it. 2 months later, Richard pulled her out. I think about the letter. After what happened with Dalton, I couldn't let you go back. Dalton wasn't a person. Dalton was a place, or a project, or an operation. I searched Dalton 2002 Boston and get nothing useful. I tried Dalton Scandal 2002 and hit pay dirt. The Dalton Industries insider trading case. Federal investigation, multiple arrests, one of the biggest corporate scandals of the early 2000s. The case fell apart when key evidence disappeared. Witnesses recanted. The whole thing collapsed in 2003. I scanned through articles. Dalton Industries was a defense contractor. The scandal involved leaked classified information, stock manipulation, foreign buyers. The investigation was led by... I stopped breathing. The investigation was led by the FBI's Boston field office. And one of the lead agents was Richard Brennan. Ashley's father wasn't just protecting her. He was using her. His own daughter. 19 years old. He sent her into Meridian Global as what? An informant? An asset? And something went wrong. Something bad enough that he pulled her out and buried the whole thing. Now Blake Patterson, David's son, is back. And he wants something. I hear footsteps in the hallway. Ashley, heading to the bathroom. I close the laptop and sit perfectly still until I hear the bathroom door close, then the toilet flush, then her footsteps retreating back to the bedroom. When the house is quiet again, I open Richard's letter one more time. I'm sorry for what I asked you to do. I'm sorry for what it cost you. I thought I was protecting this country. Instead, I nearly destroyed my daughter. He was FBI. He recruited his own daughter for an operation against Meridian Global. And when it went bad, he made it all disappear, including Ashley's past. Except David Patterson didn't forget. And now his son is collecting on a 20-year-old debt. The question is, what does Blake want? The money Ashley earned? Revenge for whatever she did to his father's business? Or something else entirely? I look at the tapes spread across my desk. 23 pieces of evidence that my wife isn't who I thought she was, and proof that this affair is just the surface of something much deeper. My phone lights up. Another text from Tyler. Mom called. She's worried about you. Said you haven't returned her calls. Asterisk, I haven't talked to my mother in 3 days. I haven't talked to anyone except Ashley, and those conversations are all performance now. Careful words, measured responses, normal husband doing normal things. I text Tyler back. Tell her I'm fine, working on something. What kind of something? I look at the frozen image on my screen. David Patterson, 20 years younger, staring at the camera with cold calculation. The kind that ends badly for someone. That's not reassuring. It's not supposed to be. I power down the laptop and start packing the tapes back into their box. I can't keep them here. If Ashley finds them, everything changes. Tomorrow I'll rent my own storage unit. Somewhere she doesn't know about. Somewhere I can keep building this case in private. Because that's what this is now. A case. Evidence and timelines and proof. I'm good at cases. I'm good at finding patterns in numbers, inconsistencies in data, truth buried under layers of deception. And Ashley taught me well, better than she knows. 20 feet down the hall, my wife sleeps peacefully. The woman I married. The woman I thought I knew. The woman who, at 19, was running covert operations for the FBI. I turn off the office light and sit in darkness, listening to the house settle around me. Whatever Blake Patterson wants, he's not going to get it. And whatever Ashley's hiding, I'm going to find it. All of it. The tapes keep playing. I'm on the 4th one now. Ashley, younger, sharper, wearing a wire under a fitted blazer, sits across from a man in his 50s at what looks like a hotel bar. The timestamp reads April 2004. The transfer happens Thursday, the man says. Same account as before. And the documentation? Courier will have it Friday morning. Your father's already been briefed. Ashley nods. She's 22 in this video, and she moves with the confidence of someone who's done this 100 times. The man slides an envelope across the table. She doesn't open it. Dalton's getting nervous, she says. The man's expression tightens. Dalton needs to keep his mouth shut. He's asking questions about the offshore accounts. Then we have a problem. The video cuts off. I rewind it. Play it again. The date is 2 months before everything collapsed. 2 months before Richard pulled her out. My phone buzzes. Ashley. Running late. Don't wait up. It's 9:47 p.m. She left work at 6. I text back. No problem. Love you. The lie comes easier now. I find the Dalton tape near the bottom of the box. The label is different, just DI Final in Richard's handwriting. The video quality is worse. Handheld camera, night vision. Ashley's sitting in a car with a man I recognize from the news photos I pulled up earlier. James Dalton, CEO of Dalton Industries, before the feds brought the whole thing down. He's crying. They're going to kill me, he says. You understand that? When this comes out, I'm dead. Ashley's voice is steady. Then don't let it come out. Your father promised me protection. And you'll get it, after you testify. Testify? Dalton laughs, but there's no humor in it. You think witness protection is going to save me from David Patterson? From the people he works for? David Patterson, Blake's father, We have everything we need, Ashley says. The accounts, the transfers, the shell companies. Patterson's going down. Patterson's a middleman. You have no idea how deep this goes. Then help us find out. Dalton shakes his head. I should never have trusted you. You're just a kid playing FBI agent because Daddy asked you to. Ashley's expression doesn't change. The wire's still running, Mr. Dalton. Everything you're saying is being recorded. His face goes white. The video ends. I sit back. My hands are shaking. James Dalton died 3 weeks after the scandal broke. Car accident on I-95. Single vehicle collision, no witnesses. The official report said he lost control during a rainstorm. I pull up the accident report. It's public record, buried in the archives. Date of death, June 17th, 2004. The last tape in Richard's box is dated June 15th, 2004. I don't watch it right away. Instead, I go upstairs, pour myself 3 fingers of bourbon, and sit in the dark living room. The house is silent. Cooper's asleep in his crate. Ashley won't be home for hours. I think about the woman in those videos. The one who wore wires and met with criminals and collected evidence that brought down a multi-million-dollar insider trading ring. The one who looked James Dalton in the eye and told him the wire was still running. That woman became my wife, and I never knew she existed. The bourbon burn's going down. I pour another. My phone buzzes. Tyler, you okay? I stare at the message. Tyler knows about the affair. He doesn't know about any of this. Fine, I text back. Just working late. Another lie. I'm getting good at those. The last tape is only 12 minutes long. Ashley's in a different car. Alone this time. The camera is mounted on the dashboard facing her. She's wearing the same clothes from the Dalton video. This is Agent Ashley Brennan, badge number 847-2991, recording statement for case file ME-2004-8873. Her voice is flat. Professional. Date is June 15th, 2004. Time is 23:47 hours. She takes a breath. At approximately 21:30 hours tonight, I met with James Dalton at the location specified in my previous report. The meeting was supposed to be a final debrief before his testimony scheduled for June 21st. When I arrived, Dalton was agitated, paranoid. He claimed he was being followed. She pauses. Her hands grip the steering wheel. He said David Patterson had contacted him, offered him money to disappear. When Dalton refused, Patterson threatened his family, his daughter specifically. Patterson knew where she went to school, knew her schedule. Ashley's jaw tightens. Dalton wanted out, wanted to run. I told him that wasn't an option, that we could protect him and his family if he followed through with his testimony. Another pause. Longer this time. He pulled a gun. My stomach drops. Service weapon, 9mm. He put it to his head and said, if I didn't let him walk away, he'd do it right there. Said at least that way his daughter would be safe. That Patterson couldn't hurt a dead man's family. Ashley's voice cracks. Just slightly. I talked him down. Took 45 minutes. He gave me the gun. I called my father. He said to bring Dalton in immediately, that we'd arrange protective custody for his family. She looks directly at the camera. Dalton agreed. He got in my car. We were driving to the field office when he grabbed the wheel, jerked it hard to the right. We went off the road, hit a guardrail. I managed to stop the car before we went into the ravine, but Dalton... She stops, swallows hard. He ran, just took off into the woods. I pursued on foot but lost him in the dark. Called it in at 23:15. Search teams are currently looking for him. Ashley stares at nothing for a long moment. I should have seen it coming. Should have known he was going to run. This is my fault. The video ends. I sit in the dark storage unit, surrounded by boxes of my dead father-in-law's secrets. James Dalton died 2 days after that video. Not in a car accident with Ashley. In a single vehicle collision on I-95, alone. Which means someone found him after he ran. And I think I know who. I pull out my laptop and search for David Patterson's current whereabouts. He's not hard to find. After the Dalton Industries scandal, he disappeared for a few years, then resurfaced in 2008 with a new consulting firm. Meridian Global Consulting. The same firm Blake Patterson works for. The same firm that has an office 3 blocks from where Ashley works. I cross-reference the dates. Blake joined Meridian in 2019. 5 years ago. Ashley and I had been married for 3 years by then. But Blake didn't approach Ashley until 4 months ago. What changed? I dig deeper. Meridian's client list is private, but I find a few mentions in business journals. They specialize in risk assessment and strategic consulting for financial firms, which is a nice way of saying they help rich people hide money. One article from last year mentions a major client win. Meridian secured a contract with the law firm where Ashley works. My blood runs cold. Blake didn't randomly meet Ashley at a restaurant. He didn't accidentally bump into her at a bar. He works with her firm. He's been in her office. He's had access to her for an entire year. And he waited until 4 months ago to make his move. Why? I check Richard's death certificate again. He died 6 months ago. Lung cancer. It was quick. Diagnosis to death in 8 weeks. Blake approached Ashley 2 months after Richard died. He was waiting for Richard to be gone. My phone buzzes. Ashley. Heading home now. Want me to pick up anything? I look at the time. 11:23 p.m. She's been working late for 4.5 hours. I'm good, I text back. See you soon. I pack up the tapes. All of them. I take Richard's files, the photographs, the letter, everything. The storage unit is empty when I leave. Just dust and shadows and the ghost of a past my wife tried to bury. I load everything into my car and drive home. Ashley's Lexus isn't in the driveway yet. I carry the boxes down to my office, stack them in the closet behind my old case files. Then I go upstairs, brush my teeth, and get into bed. When Ashley comes home 20 minutes later, I pretend to be asleep. She slides in next to me, smelling like wine and something else. Cologne. Not mine. She kisses my shoulder. Love you, she whispers. I don't answer. In the darkness, I'm already planning my next move. Because now I understand what's happening. Blake Patterson isn't having an affair with my wife. He's hunting her. The tapes run in chronological order. I watch them that way, spread across 3 nights in my office while Ashley thinks I'm buried in work. Which I am, in a sense. Just not the kind she imagines. Each night after she's gone to bed, I lock the door, dim the lights, and lose myself in these fragments of her past. A past she's never fully shared with me. A past that's becoming more disturbing with each passing hour of footage. The blue glow of the monitor casts strange shadows across my desk. Outside, the November wind rattles the windows. Inside, I'm watching my wife become someone I don't recognize. Tape 7. December 2003. Ashley sits across from David Patterson in a hotel bar somewhere in downtown Chicago. The timestamp in the corner reads 8:47 p.m. She's 20 years old, wearing a charcoal blazer that doesn't quite fit. The shoulders are too broad, probably borrowed from someone else. Her hands shake slightly as she lifts her wine glass, the Chardonnay catching the amber light from the fixtures overhead. The wire transmitter makes a faint but visible bulge under her jacket, just below her left collarbone. I wonder if Patterson notices. I wonder if he simply doesn't care. My father's interested in your proposal, she says, setting the glass down carefully on the cocktail napkin. Her voice sounds younger than I've ever heard it. uncertain, fragile even. This is not the confident attorney I married, the woman who can command a courtroom or negotiate a settlement without breaking a sweat. This is someone else entirely. Someone still learning how to lie convincingly. David Patterson is smooth in that particular way that successful con men always are. Mid-40s, with silver threading through his dark hair. He wears an expensive suit, I'd guess Armani, maybe Zegna, and a watch that probably cost more than most people's cars. The kind of smile that sells confidence, that makes you want to trust him even as some deeper instinct warns you not to. He leans back in his chair, completely at ease, swirling his scotch. "Smart man, your father," Patterson says. "The Dalton opportunity won't last forever. James is getting nervous, and nervous people make mistakes." "About the SEC investigation?" Ashley asks, and I can hear the slight tremor in her voice. She's scared, terrified actually, but she's pushing through it. "About everything." Patterson leans closer, lowering his voice even though the bar is nearly empty. "Between you and me, James talks too much. Always has. That's why we need people like your father. People who understand discretion. People who know when to speak and when to stay quiet." Ashley nods, a bit too eagerly. Takes another sip of wine, buying herself time to formulate the next question. The conversation continues for 40 minutes. I watch all of it, even though parts make my skin crawl. She's good. Better than she should be at 20. Better than someone that young has any right to be. She draws out details about shell corporations in the Caymans, offshore accounts in Luxembourg, the precise timing of trades that somehow always happen just before major announcements. She laughs at his jokes, touches his arm once, a brief, calculated gesture that makes my jaw clench, and lets him think he's charming her. Patterson never suspects. Why would he? She's just a college student, the daughter of a potential investor, young and impressionable and eager to learn about the exciting world of high finance. But I see what Richard saw. I see what the FBI saw when they reviewed this footage. The way her shoulders stay rigid throughout the entire conversation, despite her seemingly relaxed posture. The way she touches her jacket twice, subtly checking the wire, making sure it's still in place and recording. The way her smile doesn't reach her eyes, not even once. The way she orders a second glass of wine but barely touches it. She was terrified, and she was doing it anyway. Tape 9. March 2004. A parking garage, shot from inside Ashley's car. A Honda Civic that I recognize from old photos, the one she drove in college. The camera angle is awkward, positioned somewhere on the dashboard, probably hidden in a book or bag. It's late afternoon, and the concrete structure is mostly empty. She's meeting James Dalton this time, the man at the center of the whole investigation. He looks worse than in the previous tape, much worse. Thinner, with dark circles under his eyes that look like bruises. His suit hangs off his frame. He climbs into her passenger seat and immediately checks the mirrors, the paranoid gesture of someone who knows they're in danger. "They're going to kill me." He says it flat, matter of fact, like he's commenting on the weather. "You need to tell your father. Patterson's people, they know I'm talking. I tried to back out yesterday and he—" Dalton stops abruptly, touches his ribs with a wince that makes me flinch. He made it clear that's not an option. Ashley's voice is steadier now than it was in the hotel bar. 3 months of this work has changed her, hardened her. "We can protect you. Full immunity if you testify about the money laundering, the insider trading, all of it. Witness protection if necessary." "You don't understand," Dalton laughs, and it's one of the most bitter sounds I've ever heard. Patterson's just the middleman. The people he works for, they don't leave witnesses. Your father can't protect me from them. The FBI can't protect me from them. Who are they? Ashley leans forward, and I can hear the urgency in her voice. I don't know. That's the whole point. That's what makes them so dangerous. Dalton runs his hands through his hair, and they're shaking. Patterson takes orders from someone, but he's never said who. All I know is they have reach. Federal reach. People in places that should be clean. The video cuts off there, mid-sentence. I've watched this tape 4 times now, and each time that phrase hits me harder. Federal reach. I pause it, freeze frame on Dalton's terrified face. That phrase sits in my stomach like lead, cold and heavy. Federal reach. Meaning what exactly? FBI? DOJ? How high does this go? Tape 11, May 2004. The last one before Dalton's accident. Though calling it an accident feels more wrong each time I think about it. Ashley meets with her father in what looks like an FBI field office. I can see the seal on the wall behind them, the standard issue furniture, the fluorescent lights that make everyone look slightly ill. Richard's voice is clear, paternal, but professional. He's in his element here, the concerned father and the dedicated agent somehow occupying the same space. "You did good work, Ashley," he says, and there's genuine pride in his voice. The Dalton testimony is solid. We have him on record confirming the offshore accounts, the shell corporations, the whole structure. We'll move on Patterson next week, bring him in for questioning. "What about Dalton's protection?" Ashley asks. She's sitting forward in her chair, hands clasped together. "He's scared, Dad. Really scared. He thinks they're going to kill him." Richard's expression hardens in a way that I'm learning to recognize. The look of a man who's made a decision and won't be swayed. "That's not your concern. You did your job, and you did it well. Let us do ours. Witness security's handling it. He'll be fine." "He doesn't think so. He told me they have federal reach." "What does that mean?" "It means he's paranoid." Richard's voice is firm. "It means he's been living with this stress for too long and he's seeing conspiracies everywhere. We know what we're doing, sweetheart. Trust me." Ashley looks down at her hands. "Okay." "I mean it, Ashley. You're out now. No more meets, no more wires, no more late-night phone calls. You go back to school, finish your degree, live your life. This part is over. You've done enough." She nods slowly, but her hands are clenched in her lap, knuckles white. What if he's right, though? What if there really is someone— "He's not right," Richard interrupts. "And I need you to let this go. Can you do that for me?" "Yes." But she doesn't sound convinced. 3 weeks later, James Dalton drives off a mountain road in Colorado. Single vehicle accident, according to the police report. No witnesses, no skid marks, no evidence of mechanical failure. Just a man who apparently fell asleep at the wheel on a clear afternoon and sailed through a guardrail to his death. The investigation into Meridian Global Consulting stalls within days. Then it quietly closes. David Patterson walks away clean. No charges filed. The whole thing gets buried under paperwork and bureaucratic inertia. I sit back from the monitor, rubbing my eyes. It's past midnight now, approaching 1 a.m. Ashley's asleep upstairs, or pretending to be. We've barely spoken in days, our conversations reduced to polite exchanges about groceries and bills. She thinks I'm angry about work stress, about the promotion I didn't get, about the long hours and office politics. I let her think that. It's easier than the truth. My phone buzzes against the desk, making me jump. Tyler. "You still up?" "Yeah," I say, my voice rough from disuse. "Found something. You're going to want to see this." "Where are you?" "Home. Office." "Meet me at the Denny's on Route 9. 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot, watching the fluorescent lights flicker inside the restaurant. Tyler pulls up beside me and slides into my passenger seat with his laptop bag. He looks tired, but there's an energy in his movements that tells me he's onto something. "Okay, so I went deeper on Meridian Global," he says, pulling out his laptop and booting it up. The company David Patterson founded after the investigation collapsed. And, I ask, though part of me doesn't want to know. It's successful. Too successful. Tyler pulls up a series of financial reports. They're supposedly a mid-tier consulting firm, but their client list is insane. Fortune 500 companies, government contractors, 3 different defense firms with Pentagon contracts. And look at this. He pulls up a spreadsheet showing their revenue over the past 15 years. Their revenue growth is steady. No spikes, no dips, no variation. It's almost mathematical. Like someone's managing the numbers, smoothing them out. Money laundering, I ask? Maybe. Or they're providing a service that guarantees repeat business. Protection, maybe. Insurance against prosecution. Tyler clicks to another screen. But here's the really interesting part. Guess who joined Meridian's board of directors in 2019? He shows me a press release, dated March 2019. My vision tunnels, the words swimming before my eyes. Richard Brennan, your father-in-law. The words don't make sense at first. I read them again. Then again. Then they do make sense, and I wish desperately that they didn't. Ashley's father joined David Patterson's company? My voice sounds distant, like it's coming from someone else. Not just joined. He's listed as a senior advisor, consulting on risk management and regulatory compliance. Tyler's voice is careful, like he's talking to someone on a ledge. The same guy who ran the FBI investigation into Patterson 15 years earlier. I stare at the laptop screen. Richard's professional headshot looks back at me. Distinguished, gray-haired, trustworthy. Everything a former FBI agent should be. The kind of man you'd want protecting you. When exactly did he join? I ask. 2 months after he retired from the Bureau, June 2019. The timeline clicks together in my head like tumblers in a lock. Richard retires in 2019 after 30 years with the FBI, joins Meridian 2 months later. 1 year after that, Meridian secures a major contract with Ashley's law firm, the contract she helped negotiate. 1 year after that, Richard dies of a sudden heart attack. 2 months after that, Blake Patterson approaches Ashley at a coffee shop. It's all connected. It has to be. There's more, Tyler says, scrolling down. Richard was on the board for 3 years before he died. Want to guess his compensation? How much? $200,000 a year, plus stock options worth at least another $100,000. The same amount Ashley earned from her informant work. The money that disappeared from her accounts. Jesus Christ, I whisper. Yeah. Tyler closes the laptop slowly. So either Richard made peace with the guy he tried to put in prison 15 years ago, or he was working with him all along. The words taste wrong in my mouth, bitter and toxic. But they fit. They fit too well. Richard running Ashley as an informant, but making sure the investigation never quite reached Patterson's real bosses. Dalton getting killed when he threatened to expose the people above Patterson. The case closing quietly, everyone walking away. Richard retiring with commendations and a consulting job waiting for him, a reward for services rendered. And Ashley at 20, scared and shaking in that hotel bar, wearing a wire for her father. Not knowing she was bait in a larger game. Not knowing that the man she trusted most in the world was using her. What are you going to do? Tyler asks quietly. I don't know yet, I say. But that's a lie. I know exactly what I'm going to do. At home, I go straight to my office, not even bothering to be quiet. Ashley's door is still closed, no light showing underneath. I pull up the digital copies I made of the tapes and start going through them again, this time looking for different details. Not what Ashley said or did, but what Richard said. What he knew. When he knew it. Tape 3. Richard briefs Ashley before her first meeting with Patterson. Remember, you're just a college student whose father works in finance. You're curious about the industry, thinking about a career in investment banking. He'll see you as harmless. That's what we want. Tape 6. Richard reviews a recording with Ashley, the two of them sitting in what looks like his home office. Good. You got him talking about the offshore accounts, the timing of the trades. That's exactly what we need. You're doing great, sweetheart. Tape 8. Richard, on the phone with someone. Ashley's not in the room, but the camera's still running. She must have left it recording accidentally. No, she doesn't know, and she won't. She thinks she's helping us build a case against Patterson. Yes, I understand the timeline. Patterson will be handled separately. He's too valuable to burn. I play that section 3 times, then 4. Patterson will be handled separately. Not arrested, not prosecuted, handled. My phone rings, the sound sharp in the quiet office. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, my finger hovering over the decline button. Then something makes me accept the call. Hello? Silence on the other end. Just breathing, steady and calm. Then a man's voice, smooth and familiar, even though I've only heard it on tape. You've been watching the videos. My blood goes cold. Every muscle in my body tenses. Who is this? David Patterson. I think we should talk about your wife. I meet David Patterson at a coffee shop in Cambridge 3 days after his call. Not because I want to, but because he made it clear that refusal wasn't an option. We can do this civilly, he'd said, or I can have a conversation with Ashley instead. Your choice. The shop is busy enough for cover, quiet enough for conversation. Patterson's already there when I arrive, sitting at a corner table with a clear view of the entrance. He's older than in the videos, late 60s now, with silver hair and the kind of expensive casual wear that screams wealth without trying. He stands when I approach, offers his hand. I don't take it. Smart, he says, sitting back down. Trust should be earned. What do you want? I remain standing, ready to leave. Sit. Please. This won't take long and you'll want to hear what I have to say. Against my better judgment, I sit. He slides an envelope across the table. Open it. Inside are photographs. Ashley and Blake, yes. At restaurants, leaving hotels, sitting in his car. But there are other photos, too. Ashley meeting with people I don't recognize. Ashley at an office building I've never seen. Ashley handing over manila envelopes, just like in the old videos. She never stopped, Patterson says quietly. Your wife. She never stopped working. Working for who? For Richard, for the people Richard worked for. He takes a sip of his coffee. Did you really think a 20-year-old college student ran those operations alone? That she just happened to have access to some of the most sensitive financial intelligence in the country? She was FBI, I say. An informant. Patterson laughs, but there's no humor in it. Is that what the tapes showed you? Richard was clever, I'll give him that. He documented just enough to make it look legitimate. But Ashley was never FBI. She was never an informant. She was a courier, a very good one. The coffee shop seems to tilt around me. For who? For the same people I work for. The same people Richard worked for his entire career. The people who make sure certain information flows to the right places, certain investigations close at the right time, certain witnesses disappear when they become inconvenient. James Dalton's terrified face flashes through my mind. They have federal reach. You're saying the FBI... I'm saying there are people within every organization who understand that the real power isn't in enforcement, it's in control. Richard understood that. He recruited his daughter because blood is the only thing you can really trust in this business. And she was perfect, smart, capable, invisible. No one suspects a college student. The Dalton investigation was theater. We needed Dalton quiet, and we needed someone to take the fall for making him quiet. I was the obvious choice, the corrupt consultant, the money launderer. Except Richard made sure the case never went anywhere. In exchange, I made sure Dalton's accident looked convincing. My hands are shaking. I clench them into fists under the table. And Blake? Patterson's expression softens slightly. My son is not like me. He actually believes in justice, in doing the right thing. When he found out what I was, what Richard was, he tried to stop it, tried to expose everything. So I gave him a choice. Work with us, or watch everyone he cares about disappear. He chose to work with us. And Ashley. Blake was assigned to your wife 6 months ago. His job was to get close to her, find out what she knew, what evidence she might have kept. Richard's death created a vulnerability. We needed to know if Ashley was still loyal, or if she might become a problem. By sleeping with her. By whatever means necessary. Patterson's voice is cold now. Blake has his methods. They're effective. I want to hit him. Want to reach across the table and smash his face into the wood until he stops talking. But I don't. Because I need to hear the rest. Why are you telling me this? Because you're a loose end now. You've seen the tapes. You've done the research. You know too much to walk away, but not enough to be useful. He leans forward. So I'm offering you the same choice I gave my son. Work with us, or lose everything. Your wife, your career, your freedom. We have evidence that you've been embezzling from your firm for years. We have communications that suggest you've been planning to harm Ashley. We have everything we need to destroy you. That's not true. None of that's true. Truth is whatever we say it is. You should have learned that by now. The envelope sits between us on the table. Evidence of my wife's double life. Evidence of my father-in-law's corruption. Evidence that could destroy everything, or save nothing. What do you want me to do? Patterson smiles. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Go home. Forget what you've learned. Stay married to Ashley, keep living your comfortable life. She'll continue her work, you'll continue yours, and everyone stays safe. It's simple. And if I refuse? Then you'll have an accident, like Dalton, like the 3 other people who tried to expose this organization over the years. We're very good at accidents. He stands, buttoning his coat. You have 24 hours to decide. Blake will contact you tomorrow with instructions. I suggest you make the right choice. He leaves. I sit there for a long time, staring at the photographs spread across the table. Then I gather them up, walk to my car, and drive. Not home. Not yet. I drive to the storage facility where I found Richard's tapes. The unit is still empty, still musty with disuse. I sit on the concrete floor in the darkness and think about everything I've learned. Ashley was never a victim. She was a willing participant, recruited by her own father into something so dark, I'm still trying to comprehend it. The scared 20-year-old in those videos was an act. Or maybe she was scared. Scared of getting caught, not scared of what she was doing. Our entire marriage is a lie. Every moment, every conversation, every time she said she loved me. All of it built on deception so deep, I can't see the bottom. I pull out my phone and look at our wedding photos. Ashley in white, smiling at the camera. Me beside her, the happiest I'd ever been. Both of us promising forever. My phone rings. Tyler. Where are you? He asks. Ashley called. She's worried. I'm sure she is. What's going on? You sound... I met with David Patterson. Silence. Then, Jesus Christ, why would you do that? He called me, told me everything. About Richard, about Ashley, about what they've been doing. The words pour out. The courier work. The continued operations. Blake's assignment. The choice Patterson gave me. When I finish, Tyler is quiet for a long moment. What are you going to do? I look at the empty storage unit. at the space where Richard's secrets used to be hidden. I'm going to burn it all down. It takes me 3 days to build the case. Not for divorce, that's trivial now, almost irrelevant. For something bigger. I copy every tape, every document, every piece of evidence Richard left behind. I cross-reference it with the research Tyler and I compiled. I add the photographs Patterson gave me, the financial records showing Meridian's too-perfect revenue, the timeline of Richard's recruitment into their organization. Then I do something Patterson won't expect. I send it all to the Inspector General's office. Not the FBI, they're compromised. Not the local police, they don't have jurisdiction. But the IG's office, the internal watchdog designed to investigate corruption within federal agencies. I send copies to 3 different investigative journalists. To the Senate Oversight Committee. To the Department of Justice's Public Integrity Section. I send everything, everywhere, all at once. Then I go home. Ashley's in the kitchen when I arrive. She looks up from her laptop, smiling. Hey, stranger, I was getting worried. Long day? You could say that. I made pasta, your favorite. She stands, moves toward me. Are you okay? You've been distant lately. I look at her. Really look at her. The woman I married. The woman I thought I knew. I know about Blake, I say. Her expression doesn't change. Not even a flicker. What? I know about Blake Patterson, about the affair, about everything. Now her face shifts. Concern, confusion, hurt, all perfectly calibrated. I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Blake Patterson? Don't, my voice is flat. I've seen the photos, the call logs, the social media posts you deleted. I know. She sits down slowly. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Then she laughs. Actually laughs. Okay, you got me. Yes, I've been seeing someone. I'm sorry. I was going to tell you, I know about your father too, about the tapes. About Meridian Global and David Patterson and what you've been doing since you were 20 years old. The mask drops completely. Her face goes blank, empty of all emotion. This is the real Ashley, the one I've never seen before. Cold, calculating, dangerous. You shouldn't have looked into that, she says quietly. Probably not. But I did. What do you want? Money? I have money. More than you know. We can make this work. I already sent everything to the IG's office, and the press, and Congress. It's over, Ashley. She stands so fast her chair tips backward. You did what? Burned it down, all of it. Your father's operation, Patterson's organization, everything. By tomorrow morning, every news outlet in the country will have the story. By tomorrow afternoon, federal investigators will be knocking on your door. Her face goes white. Do you have any idea what you've done? The people involved in this, they'll kill you. They'll kill both of us. Maybe, but at least it'll be over. You stupid, stupid man. She's shaking now, with rage or fear or both. You think you're the hero? You think you're saving people? You just signed your own death warrant. Then I'll die knowing I did the right thing, which is more than you can say. She stares at me for a long moment. Then she grabs her purse and her keys. Where are you going? I ask. Somewhere you'll never find me. Somewhere they'll never find me. She stops at the door. For what it's worth, I did love you. At first. Before I remembered who I really was. That doesn't make me feel better. It wasn't supposed to. She leaves. The door closes. I hear her car start, then fade into the distance. I sit in the empty kitchen and wait for whatever comes next. What comes next is chaos. The story breaks at 6 a.m. By noon, it's the lead on every major news network. By evening, 3 FBI agents are arrested. By the next morning, David Patterson is in federal custody, and Meridian Global's offices are being raided by a joint task force. Blake Patterson turns himself in voluntarily, agrees to cooperate in exchange for immunity. His testimony corroborates everything I sent. More arrests follow. The conspiracy reaches higher than I imagined. Deputy directors, senior agents, people who've been operating in the shadows for decades. Ashley disappears completely. The FBI searches for her, but she's gone. Vanished like she was trained to do. Part of me hopes she makes it, finds somewhere safe to hide. Part of me hopes they catch her. Most of me just feels empty. The divorce is finalized in absentia. I get everything, the house, the accounts, all of it. Not that it matters. I sell the house within a month. Can't stand to live there anymore. Every room reminds me of a life that never existed. Tyler helps me pack. We don't talk much. What is there to say? You did the right thing, he offers, sealing another box. Did I? Yeah, you did. I want to believe him. 6 months later, I'm living in a different city, working a different job. The media circus has died down. The trials are ongoing. They'll last for years, probably. I've testified 3 times already. Will testify more before it's over. I don't date. Can't imagine trusting anyone again. Sometimes I wonder where Ashley is. If she's alive, if she's happy, if she ever thinks about me. If any of it was real, even for a moment. My therapist says I need to stop asking questions I'll never have answers to. She's probably right. 1 year after everything collapsed, I receive a letter. No return address, postmarked from somewhere in South America. Inside is a single photograph. Ashley, sitting at a cafe in what looks like Buenos Aires. She's wearing sunglasses, her hair shorter and darker than I remember. She looks older, tired. On the back, in her handwriting, "You were right. It's better this way. I'm sorry for what I was. Thank you for showing me what I could have been." I burn the photograph that night. Watch it curl and blacken in my fireplace until there's nothing left but ash. Then I pour myself a drink and toast the empty room. To truth, I say to no one, whatever it costs. The moral, if there is one, is this. Some people are exactly who they appear to be. And some people are mysteries wrapped in lies, wrapped in deeper lies, all the way down to a core you'll never reach. The trick is knowing which is which before you marry them. I learned that lesson the hard way, but I learned it. And in the end, I walked away with something Patterson and Richard and Ashley never had. I could look at myself in the mirror without flinching. Some nights, that's enough. Most nights, it has to be.